A red motorcade escorted by horseback guards, attendants by over 20 royal houses alongside presidents and first ladies, a 1,700-guest elite banquet, a sword-cut wedding cake, and a $75 million price tag. This was not just a wedding. In this video, we will show you the ultra-grand wedding of Jordan's Crown Prince Hussein bin Abdullah II, the wedding that froze the world. On June 1st, 2023, Jordan slowed down. Not gradually, immediately. The government declared a public holiday, security checkpoints appeared across Amman, and royal districts were sealed off. This was not a routine celebration. The Crown Prince was getting married, and the state treated it as a national event rather than a private one. The estimated cost quickly set the tone, around $75 million according to regional and international media. That figure covered security, venues, global broadcasting, guest logistics, and multiple official events spread across several days. For comparison, most modern royal weddings stay behind palace walls. This one moved through the capital, intentionally visible. More than 20 royal houses confirmed attendance. Reigning monarchs arrived alongside heirs, former kings, and members of once ruling families. Presidents and first ladies joined them. The guest list read less like a wedding invitation and more like a diplomatic summit schedule. That was not accidental. Weddings at this level are rarely only about the couple. Jordan's position in the region gives context. It is a country known for stability in a volatile neighborhood, closely aligned with Western powers and tied to Gulf states through politics, security, and economics. A wedding of this scale signaled continuity. It told allies and rivals alike that the line of succession was settled, public, and supported. The location mattered. Zahran Palace, built in 1957, is not Jordan's most extravagant royal residence, but it is its most symbolic. It houses the Hashemite court and has hosted major state moments, including the marriage of King Abdullah II and Queen Rania in 1993. Choosing Zahran linked the present heir directly to the past king. Same palace, same message, different generation. Nothing about the setup was improvised. Streets were cleared along motorcade routes days in advance. Live broadcasts were planned for both domestic and international audiences. Giant screens were installed in public spaces, so ordinary Jordanians could watch events typically reserved for palace grounds. This was inclusion by design. At its core, this was not a romantic spectacle staged for magazines. It was a carefully constructed display of power, legitimacy, and national unity. The white gowns and diamonds caught attention, but the real focus was succession and stability. And that was only the beginning. The heir and the architect, Crown Prince Hussein bin Abdullah II, is not a symbolic figure waiting for a title. He has been prepared for leadership from an early age, formally named Crown Prince at 15. That decision removed uncertainty inside the palace and placed responsibility on him long before adulthood. It is the kind of pressure most people never experience, let alone at that age.
النهضة وسام الكوكب وسام الاستقلال طبعا هي سيدي شاهد على عراقة وسمتها الأغنية والطباع المختلفة.
His education followed a deliberate path. Hussein trained at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst, the same institution attended by generations of military leaders and royals. He later studied international history at Georgetown University. The combination is intentional. One focuses on command and discipline, the other on global systems and diplomacy. Together, they shape a future head of state, not a ceremonial figurehead. He serves as a captain in the Jordan Armed Forces Arab Army, appearing frequently in uniform at official events. This is not cosmetic. Military credibility carries weight in Jordan, where the armed forces remain one of the country's most trusted institutions. It also aligns him with his father's image as a soldier king. The resemblance is practical, not accidental. Hussein's lineage adds another layer. The Hashemite family traces its ancestry to the Prophet Muhammad, a fact that underpins its religious and historical legitimacy. In a region where authority is often contested, lineage still matters. It provides continuity in a system that values tradition as much as governance. His parents define two sides of modern monarchy. King Abdullah II is a seasoned ruler with strong ties to Western governments and regional power brokers. Queen Rania represents a different form of influence. Educated, media-savvy, and globally visible, she has shaped how the Jordanian monarchy is perceived abroad. That combination has influenced Hussein's public role from the start. Then there is Rajwa al-Saif. She does not come from a royal household, and that distinction is important. Born in Riyadh, she studied architecture at Syracuse University in New York and worked at design firms in Los Angeles and Saudi Arabia. Her background is professional, not ceremonial. No palace upbringing, no preparation for public life. She entered the royal family without tabloid history or public branding. Their relationship developed privately, introduced through mutual friends. No public courtship, no spectacle, just time and discretion. In royal terms, that restraint says more than any grand announcement. We rejoice. The build-up before the explosion. Long before the wedding day, the celebration had already begun. Jordan did not compress this marriage into a single afternoon. It unfolded over several days, carefully paced, each event serving a specific purpose. The message was clear early on. This was not a private family occasion. It was a national moment. The most symbolic gathering was the Henna Night, hosted by Queen Rania and attended exclusively by women. This was not a modern invention or a social media performance. Henna ceremonies marked transition and acceptance in both Jordanian and Saudi tradition. Holding it publicly, yet selectively, balanced openness with cultural boundaries. The evening blended identities. Jordanian and Saudi songs were performed side by side. Well-known Jordanian artists took turns on stage, supported by traditional dance groups. The music choice was deliberate. It reflected two families, two countries, and one future household. No explanations were needed. Rajwa's gown carried the clearest signal. Designed by Saudi designer Honaida Sarafi, it featured Arabic calligraphy embroidered directly into the fabric. The phrase read simply, "I rejoiced." It was also the official slogan of the wedding, released by the Royal Hashemite Court in a formal logo. Subtle, but unmistakable. Few weddings come with branding. This one did. Earlier that same day, King Abdullah II hosted a dinner for 4,000 Jordanians at the Royal Hashemite Court. The guest list was broad by design. Tribal leaders, military personnel, public servants, and representatives from across the country were invited. This was not a donor dinner or an elite reception. It was a signal of inclusion. The scale alone made that clear. The following evening, the tone shifted. Formal banquets brought together political figures, business leaders, and public officials. Performances by Arab music stars like Tamer Hosni and Ragheb Alama followed, broadcast live and shared across social platforms. The celebrations moved from palace grounds into living rooms across the country. Distance disappeared quickly. These events were expensive, highly organized, and closely choreographed. But labeling them as excess misses the point. Every gathering served a political and cultural function. Each one widened the circle of participation. By the time the wedding day arrived, Jordan was already invested, and the main event had not even started yet. Zahran Palace, where history repeats itself. At exactly 4 p.m., the ceremony began in the gardens of Zahran Palace. Timing mattered. Precision mattered. This was the same palace where King Abdullah II and Queen Rania were married in 1993, nearly 30 years earlier. Choosing this location was not sentimental. It was deliberate. The message was continuity. Zahran Palace is not Jordan's largest royal residence, but it is its most official. Built in 1957, it houses the headquarters of the Hashemite court and hosts key state events. Holding the ceremony here tied the marriage directly to governance, not just family tradition. The setting was formal, restrained, and symbolic. Only around 140 guests attended the ceremony. That number stood in contrast to the scale of the wider celebrations. Inside the palace gates, the atmosphere was controlled and quiet. No crowds, no excess movement. Every detail unfolded according to protocol. This was not designed for spectacle. It was designed for record. Rajwa Al Saif arrived escorted by Prince Hashem bin Abdullah, the groom's younger brother. The choice was personal, but also telling. Hussein's sisters, Princess Iman and Princess Salma, adjusted her veil as she entered, small gestures, but intentional ones. It signaled acceptance into the family before the vows were even spoken. Her gown was custom-made by Eli Saab. The design was understated by royal standards. An asymmetric neckline, long sleeves, and a detachable train embroidered with floral motifs. The message was restraint. Nothing theatrical, nothing experimental. It was meant to last in photographs decades from now. Hussein wore his ceremonial military uniform as a captain in the Jordan Armed Forces Arab Army. A sword rested at his side. This was not decorative. Military service is central to Jordan's identity, and the uniform reinforced his role as a future commander, not just a royal figure. The Islamic marriage ceremony, known as the Khatb Kitab, was brief and formal. The marriage contract was signed under the supervision of the Imam of the Royal Hashemite Court. 2 witnesses stood in place. No improvisation, no variation. After the vows, the couple cut the wedding cake using a sword, a Hashemite tradition reserved for royal ceremonies. Zagratas followed. Fireworks echoed beyond the palace walls. The red motorcade and the global guest list. Once the ceremony concluded, the palace gates opened. Out rolled a custom red 1984 Land Rover, carrying the newlyweds through the streets of Amman. Horseback guards in red uniforms flanked the vehicle. Streets were lined with citizens cheering and waving flags. This was power on display, public and deliberate. The monarchy was not hidden behind walls. It was seen, felt, and shared. The motorcade was more than a procession. It was a statement. Jordan's leaders wanted the public to witness stability, continuity, and the transition of authority. Every element, the choice of vehicle, the uniforms, the route, was calculated. Ordinary Jordanians became part of a royal pageant without leaving their streets. Inside, the guest list reflected global influence. Prince William and Catherine of the United Kingdom attended, symbolizing strong ties between Jordan and the UK. Jill Biden, First Lady of the United States, represented American support. Kings, crown princes, and empresses from across the Middle East, Europe, and Asia were present. Even members of former royal families, long removed from power, returned for this occasion. Saudi presence was subtle. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman did not attend, but sent a gift of high-value diamonds for the bride. His absence was noticeable, signaling that diplomacy can be exercised without physical presence. Similarly, Prince Hamza, Hussein's half-brother, remained absent due to prior political developments. In these cases, absence spoke as loudly as presence, adding context to the ceremony's political dimension. The combination of attendance and absence highlighted the dual purpose of the wedding. It was not only a union of 2 people, but also a careful demonstration of Jordan's alliances and the royal family's influence. Each guest, each uniformed guard, and each planned procession moment communicated continuity. Stability was visible. Power was public. The red motorcade rolled on. Citizens cheered. Cameras captured every detail. The world watched. And behind the spectacle, every choice, Who was there, who was not, and how it was presented, carried meaning beyond ceremony. The wedding, already a private union, became a calculated act of diplomacy and authority. And even as the streets emptied, the signals sent by the motorcade would resonate far beyond Amman's city limits. The banquet, the cost, the message. The evening reception moved to Al Husseiniya Palace, a modern royal venue in Amman. The palace was transformed into a controlled display of elegance. Over 1,700 guests attended, including royals, diplomats, and public figures. Crystal chandeliers, gold accents, and lavish floral arrangements set the stage. Even the food was symbolic. Mansaf, the national dish, was served with precision, signaling tradition as much as hospitality. Rajwa changed into a second gown by Dolce & Gabbana. The dress maintained formality, but shifted the visual message. The same tiara, paired with opera gloves and a ball gown silhouette, reflected both continuity and adaptability. Her presence reinforced her role in the royal family while staying within cultural expectations. Every moment was recorded. Drones hovered above the palace, capturing footage for live broadcasts. Social media quickly amplified the event, spreading images of the reception and the couple's appearances worldwide. Jordan's monarchy controlled the narrative, presenting a polished, deliberate image. The estimated $75 million cost was more than ceremony. It was strategic. Security, venue transformation, international guest logistics, performances, and media coverage contributed to a single cohesive message. The monarchy is stable, culturally rooted, and globally connected. The scale reinforced Jordan's identity as a center of regional stability, even amid ongoing economic and political pressures. By the end of the night, the wedding had fulfilled multiple roles: a union of two individuals, a display of national culture, and a subtle yet powerful diplomatic signal. For Jordan, the celebration was both domestic reassurance and international statement, carefully choreographed and unmistakably clear. The $75 million wedding of Crown Prince Hussein and Princess Rajwa combined personal celebration with public display. From the red motorcade to over 20 royal houses, tradition and modernity intertwined, signaling stability and continuity. Yet behind the grandeur, one wonders, how much was private joy and how much was deliberate symbolism? Which one shocked you the most? Share your thoughts below.